Hello, it's John Heaton, and today I want to show you something I picked up recently on new vinyl. It's an album from Yoko Ono, and it's the album from January 1973, approximately Infinite Universe, and I have the original copy signed by Yoko here in Budapest, May 1998, in person when I met her. And delighted to see it released. It's probably my second favourite album of hers after Season of Glass 1981, and it's one of her more accessible albums, not too much avant-garde stuff and more accessible pop rock music, if you like. It's got Elephant's Memory supporting, the same band that played on Sometime in New York City with John, and they actually did their own solo album produced by John and Yoko. It's got many gems on it, and I just want to show you the little goodies you get in the new packaging. You get a nice booklet here, which has an essay from Yoko and this is an Apple advert from Pathmacone, France, EMI, which shows releases from John, Paul, George and Ringo, as well as Yoko and Elephant's Memory there, which is nice to see. It's something that our European partners did more than EMI in the UK, tended to advertise solo Beatles stuff together, and this was a Billboard advertisement for the album at the time, which is interesting. There's a Mick Jagger with John and Yoko in the studio around the same time. And then another picture here. So nice little nice little booklet. You get a poster. There you go, that's the poster. Not quite sure what the symbols mean. It looks pretty cool though. And you get the lyric sheet as you do on the original, not in the original paper sleeve, but in a firmer, or I'll just compare it to the original. This is it's a bit faded, but this is, I'm not sure what the difference is really, but it's anyway, it looks spanking new, and that's great. But the main reason I got this album is because, one, it's on white vinyl, and although my copy came with a few smudges on it, unfortunately, and I got a 20% discount from the supplier for this, I couldn't be bothered to return it. But it's on the grapefruit label, so this was interesting because you've got, instead of the Beatles' apple, you've got Yoko's grapefruit. Of course, she's famous for writing the book Grapefruit, and then the B-side being the half of the grapefruit. And I just think that's a lovely touch. And I looked at sides. So side one was the full grapefruit, side two was the half grapefruit, and then on the second disc, I noticed that side 4 was the full grapefruit and side 3 was the half, so I thought that was maybe a misprint. But then my son pointed out that if you sandwich the two records together, the two vinyl copies together, I'm not going to do it. Side 1 full grapefruit, side 2 half grapefruit, side 3 half grapefruit, side 4 full grapefruit, you get a full grapefruit. I thought that was pretty neat. So it's not a mistake at all, it's deliberate. And so I thought it's worth picking up for the fact, well, one, it's a pretty damn good album. I know a lot of people out there, you don't maybe like Yoko's work, but she has her fans, and as I say, this is one of her stronger albums, and musicianship is brilliant with the Elephant's Memory. John's guesting on guitar on a couple of tracks. And you've got some real gems like Yang Yang, beginning of side 1. And you've got Peter the Dealer, which is another favourite of mine. What a Bastard the World Is, Waiting for the Sunrise. And then her famous, well, not so famous, Now or Never. you know, the song, the plea for world peace. Are we going to keep sending our youth to war? Are we going to keep scarring rice fields and infants? Are we going to keep watching dead bodies over dinner? Are we going to be known as the century that kills? People of America, when will we stop? It's now or never, there's no time to waste. And then the famous line at the end, dream you dream alone is only a dream, but dream we dream together is reality, which I think is a pretty good philosophical remark from Yoko. So if you're interested in checking out Yoko's more accessible material, then you could do a lot worse than start with this album. She is an accomplished musician in her own right. She classically trained, she knows how to play. She plays piano on a couple of tracks on here, or at least one. And, you know, her voice is an acquired taste, a bit like Bob Dylan, I guess, but I think it works pretty damn well on this album. And she was a lot more prolific at the time than John Lennon was. John Lennon almost got a case of writer's block after some time in New York City. It would be not be till November 73 that he released a new album, whereas Yoko already in January 73 had released this double, and then Feeling the Space came later in the same year. And obviously I won't pretend it's on the same level as John's work, but it's pretty damn good stuff. I mean, I think the Fly album from 71 was a bit too avant-garde for my liking. Plastic Ono Band, the first one, was interesting in places, but this one and Season of Glass from 1981 after John died, which contains some tracks which they worked on together, plus the Double Fantasy Band with Tony Levin and Andy Newmark, George Small, Hugh McCracken, and Earl Slick all playing on that album. And this one has Elephant's Memory. This is the gatefold. And then you've got John and Yoko down by the pier in New York City there. And on the back, got the lyrics. So when I first picked up the original, it was not cheap. I noticed it. You can get it a little cheaper these days. It's not quite so collectible. Maybe when she dies, her stuff will become more collectible. Who knows? And John actually said, the poor girl won't get credit until she dies, and maybe that's true. Although I think her reputation has been is a lot better now than it was, you know, when these albums were first coming out. And I remember Rolling Stone giving a 5-star review to her Ono box, which was her collected works. So that was Yoko. As I say, the white vinyl is a bit smudged, but the second disc is pretty nice and clean. And look at that beautiful grapefruit white vinyl. It plays pretty well, although I'm probably not going to play it that often. I prefer to keep these albums in near enough mint condition. So I thought I'd show you that. Thank you for watching. See you next time.